snowstorm.
Antarctica. Ice. Scientists are penguins.
Antarctica, they're opening the abyss.
We not only live in a simulation, we create the simulation.
I'm still pretty convinced that if we are in a simulation, it's got its source code hooked in directly to this podcast.
Yeah, and I'm concerned that you're hearing robot voices because of stories like this.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
newshub.co.nz.
Okay. You got it?
I don't know. Do you got it? You want me to do it? I can do it.
I got it. Newshub.co.nz. Headline: Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern's eye-popping discovery after Antarctica trip. So we covered that as a reward for COVID-0 in New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, the sort of tyranny-based ruler of New Zealand, was rewarded with a trip to Antarctica, which we've theorized is sort of the heaven on earth for white rich liberals, the promised land of the social justice milieu, the Great White Desert, as they call it. And Jacinda had got a little trip there. And here's this article. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has returned from Antarctica to discover her beloved Zespri kiwi fruit stuffed toy without an eye. Ardern shared a picture of her broken and sad-looking stuffed kiwi fruit with one of its plastic eyes broken. Quote, discovered this on my return, a full investigation to follow. Ardern met the life-size Zespri kiwi fruit mascot brothers most recently during her visit to Japan this year, and in 2019. It appears she brought the soft toy home as a souvenir from one of these trips. A selfie Ardern shared after this year's Japan trip showed the kiwi fruit mascot staring at her from a shelf in her prime ministerial office. Quote, ever get the feeling you're being watched? She captioned the Instagram story, which is a jingle we play on this show.
Almost verbatim from the Garfield show.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And there's a little picture there. You can see in the background is a kiwi fruit, the actual fruit with a big mouth and two googly eyes staring at her. One of Ardern's Instagram followers jokingly called for a royal commission of the inquiry into, quote, this outrageous and appalling event, and even blamed Ardern's daughter, Neve. Quote, perpetrator will be sent to bed early for a week. Another urged Ardern to check first with Thingy, Aotearoa's official ambassador for children's television during the 1990s. So she's got this little plushie of a kiwi fruit that has googly eyes. Apparently, it's been a staple for her Instagram or her TikTok or whatever. But on returning from her Antarctica trip, there seems to have been some sort of crime committed, and one of the googly eyes has fallen off, Gons.
Gouged.
Is it a message? Is it a message? And I think it's especially interesting because, you know, the whole Pelosi thing, Nancy's out of town and danger comes to her home. And now Jacinda goes out of town and maybe somebody's sending her a message, or perhaps she's sending a message to someone else. What's going on, Gonzo?
Well, there's also, she got these googly eyes from her trip to Japan, which is interesting, show related.
So connection to you.
Connection to me.
Googly eyes, connection to me. Ever feel like you're being watched? Connection to the show.
Connection to the show. The trifecta.
And Antarctica. Her return from Antarctica. What is going on? Like I said, if this is a simulation, the simulation is taking, the AI is taking an outsized proportion of material from this show, as we love to point out whenever it does happen, which it happens often.
These algo magicians are not very creative. They must rely on folks like us, apparently, for content or something.
Apparently, we are, we complain about our social media algorithms being stifled, but the algorithm pulling us into the simulation, crafting software is more than making up for it, apparently.
Yeah, and you made the analogy of having maybe her office or something being rummaged through while she was gone, in parallel to the Paul Pelosi situation when Nancy's gone, some tampering happening at home. This was actually a lot more literal than you were saying. TheGuardian.com here. Woman arrested after attack on Jacinda Ardern's office in Auckland.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Some crazy right-wing extremist attacked Jacinda's empty office.
Yeah. Well,
maybe that's when the eyeball came off. What's the mystery?
No. Can't connect the two. A woman has been arrested in relation to an attack on the Auckland office of Jacinda Ardern while the New Zealand Prime Minister is away visiting Antarctica, local media reported.
Oh my
Police
gosh.
said the 57-year-old was arrested at a Coatesville house and was taken into custody, according to news outlet Stuff. On Thursday morning, police and fire officers attended Ardern's electorate office in the central suburb of Morningside. Stuff reported a person was seen smashing a hole in the office door and throwing something inside before smoke came through the building.
Oh my gosh. The poor kiwi fruit googly eye thing
was attacked. So she's not joking when she's talking about retaliation. And maybe it's just, she kind of blames her daughter, but I don't know what's going on. A large knife.
Somebody else did, but yeah.
A large knife, which appears to be a machete or small sword, was also found on the footpath, according to a photo published by Stuff. A journalist heard firefighters warning the owner of a nearby shop not to, quote, touch the machete handle.
Yeah, let the plant-powered robot pick up the machete.
Yeah, seriously. Police confirmed they are, quote, making inquiries into a report of willful damage at an address on Great North Road. Quote, the incident was reported at about 8:20 a.m. where an object was thrown through the window, a police statement read. A scene examination will be conducted and inquiries remain ongoing. No injuries, but something is afoot. So a lot of... politicians seemingly having physical altercations conveniently when they're not around.
Yeah. Of course. Yes. Right. So conveniently when they're not around. And in this case, again, Antarctica being the utopia, the getaway for good white liberals.
She was safe in the white desert.
She was safe in the white desert as her reward for COVID-0. And because she was there, she was spared the attack by the crazy, right-wing extremists. So, I mean, the messaging is so clear. It just fits so perfectly into what we've been saying about Antarctica.
Yeah, I don't know. This is all so weird.
We got to take all of our Antarctica clips and put them in one giant mega cut. We could do an entire feature-length documentary by just putting our Antarctica bits together in order, uncut, and it would tell the storyline perfectly.
We can call it putting the
current events.
We can call it putting the ant in Antarctica. Little bits and pieces all strung together.
Ah, yes. The ants go marching.
There you go. There you go. See, this is this is how we do it.
That's good. That's good.
You gonna write that one down?
All right. Yeah. Sure. I'll write it down. No. Hey, audience. Send an email to canarycry@gmail.com and remind us to do our Antarctica documentary. Thanks. Remember, it's the audience Siri. There are digital assistant.
Right. Yes.
So, it's a real part of producing because, if you email us the things we request to be reminded of, you're technically like a personal assistant or like a production assistant, and things happen. I'm not joking. Things might not happen
a joke.
unless somebody emails us. We might completely forget.
Yeah.
So don't think that other people are emailing, by the way. If you feel like you want to help out the show, you really should email us when we ask. Because things will go undone unless you do. Yeah. So send us an email reminding us to put together all of our Antarctica clips into one big documentary.